Hey everyone, this is my version of Dragon Ball Super, a complete and total rewrite. This is part 1 in the series, with it being a replacement to the to the Battle of Gods arc. And in this series, I do plan on making every single character matter and have some form of progression in one way or another. I won't act like Super didn't have some good ideas, but I will scrap ideas that it had and bring in totally new ones. Example being with Goku Black, that thing was a total train wreck, not just from a writing perspective, but also from a whole marketing perspective as well. If you want a Dark Goku, just do something uh, like Reverse Flash, Godspeed, Red Hulk. Do a actual reversed version of the character, not a I want them to be just don't do a weird fanfic moment. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, Goku and Vegeta's relationship would be something much like Dragon Ball Super's, where they would be not buddy-buddy, but they would be close with them having dinners and training together, with Master Roshi giving them dares to do all across the world. Uh, and as for, well, their families, I'll get to that later. But now we'll get into Gohan and Videl. Videl would much like to do what Gohan does with the Saiyan and would train alongside him to, well, one, get stronger and be a great martial artist like her dad. Her dad would still teach her, but he wouldn't know all the key stuff, and that would be left to Gohan. Gohan wouldn't be a fan of the whole hero thing and would much rather be a scholar, but he would still train alongside her. And her future trainer, Piccolo, who isn't really a huge fan of training Videl. Then we get into Krillin and Android 18. They would, well, still have their daughter, but they would it would sort of be like a pageant girl sort of thing where they're too supportive, and Krillin has sort of fallen off, but Android 18 is still working hard as ever. Not like her brother, but still there. And then we have Piccolo, whom has been training and watching over Earth, keeping out any potential threats. So at this point, he would be one of the stronger characters in the series, with him being number 3. Of course, there being Goku and Vegeta. And then there is, well, Vegeta himself. Trunks isn't really the type to train, and but due to Vegeta constantly going at it with him, uh, he would decide, you know what, this is cool, I want to try it. So he would still stick around and train with his dad. Bulma would encourage Trunks to be a little bit more proactive and train alone. And it would eventually end up with Vegeta coming to the conclusion he would want to make up for his past mistakes, and so he would go off into space with his family. Uh, Why? Well, I already said why, but how is the answer. I mean, no, not the answer, the question. The question being how. How would they get into space? Well, uh, they already have a spaceship. They have the ship that Frieza came in. They have the specs for that. And they also already have machines able to do that. And Bulma herself did create and help fix up King. Uh, Shoot, I always forget the older version of Piccolo's name, but basically, since Bulma worked on that to get them to Namek, it would be pretty easy for her to just, well, not easy, but it would be quicker this time around to make a spaceship. Alright, once Vegeta gets into space and starts traveling to planets with his family, he would immediately be intercepted by the Galactic Patrol and their strongest enforcers. They would explain to him that after Frieza's passing, that everything in space has changed. That because of his death and the death of his family, well, the strongest members in it, that the Galactic Patrol are now able to enforce their laws better and have a bigger reach all throughout the galaxy, and also the rest of the universe, all four quadrants of it. But they need his help in order to clean things up, and since he's on this new mission to be a hero, they thought he could be some help. Vegeta says yes and gets a job with them, becoming partnered with his new rival. Well, not rival, but certainly someone that could push him, Miras. In this version of events, Miras wouldn't be an angel, but a space cop that became a member of the Galactic Enforcers after Moro destroyed his planet in a fight against Frieza. Now we'll get a montage of Vegeta training and learning new abilities, along with on the job in space with Miras. He creates several new abilities, mainly dealt with fighting in space and in small arenas, like the Gamma Ray Burst, a ranged attack that fires in a certain degree forward. It can be used as a huge lineup to destroy a massive amount of weapons or to blast a bunch of enemies backward, but it's mainly used as a defensive option. And then there's the key sword. Uh, key being key, not key being key. Ah, I love my own jokes. Basically, with this, it's meant to be a bendable sword that can allow Vegeta to move around better, and also for close range combat, as he's better with range. But I sort of messed around with the Galactic Patrol, making it so that way they have to go through training on Yardrat to be one of the top tier officers and to be able to, one, not just get better pay, but be more prepared for intenser fights and jobs throughout space, with Vegeta learning forced spirit fission, but also my own sort of idea that I got from what what the series has come up with, which would be spirit clone. I know Vegeta doesn't really like cheap tricks, but it would be him creating a spirit clone of himself that would act as armor to uh, not be helping him in the fight, but to take damage for him. He's not healing, but he's also not running away from the fight either. And then when he absorbs another person's spirit energy into himself, boosting his Super Saiyan form to become stronger, it would be a 2 times boost at the max, but using this, he would also be able to passively pull in spirit energy around him and others, including his opponent's attacks, and his opponent whenever he hits them, kind of like forced spirit fission, but it would be much more passive and making him stronger as he activates it alongside his Super Saiyan modes. So okay, Vegeta's most recent mission alongside Mirrors, they are chasing down this monster called a celestial dragon. He's a super criminal that just escaped prison and is heading towards this maximum security prison where he was paid to break someone out. Mirrors and Vegeta are chasing after him, with his fire abilities causing them some problems while in space. Vegeta is on the cannons and is using his ki to try and pin down the dragon, but in space things are much harder than they seem. With this fast, agile pyromancer being able to burn up the engines in the ship, causing them to malfunction sometimes, with their engineers needing a few minutes to work on them. But the ship would do the job for the celestial dragon, as the ship would crash land into the prison, breaking free all of the prisoners along with their leader Moro. And from what I said earlier about Miras and Moro's relationship, I would say that Miras would jump in on him like how Vegeta did on Frieza, trying to kill him immediately. But Moro would bat him away and absorb the celestial dragon, using his powers to uh, greatly enhance his own, as Moro throughout time has aged poorly. So, uh, in response, Vegeta activates his Spirit Saiyan mode and starts fighting Moro. Moro's kryptonite is spirit use, so he's not really all too well against Vegeta. He tells his men to flee and they take over the entire prison and transform all the guards and everyone else into 7-3 robots. Miras gets on the ship, starts fixing it up with the others while Vegeta is fighting Moro. Vegeta isn't doing so well, as Moro is regaining all his fighting knowledge and his power, and is starting to use his mind control on Vegeta. And Vegeta is trying to hold back his memories, as he doesn't want Moro to know about the Dragon Balls. But the ship is eventually fixed. Vegeta hops in and tries to blow up the entire space station, so that way everyone would, all the criminals would die in space, hopefully. But uh, Moro absorbs the key energy, only leaving the spirit energy behind, which does some structural damage, but not enough to slow down the criminals. Bulma, being the head engineer of Miras and Vegeta's ship, would contact them and let them know that Dende has made new Dragon Balls, with these being able to grant you 10 wishes uh, all throughout the year. So it's not a one and done thing like before. With Vegeta knowing this little bit of information away from Moro's mind control, the group would have a bit of knowledge and the ability to uh, defeat Moro and wish him away, as they could interrupt him if he tried to use the Earth's Dragon Balls, as Vegeta knows he would, uh, that he did read his mind, and that the old uh, Conqueror might want to steal the Dragon Balls to gain a lot of power fast. Looking at Chef Bulma sees that Moro and his team are slowly closing in on them, and so they decide to call in Goku and tell him to get the Z Fighters all together, because the Dragon Balls are going to be at play in this. So while Vegeta, Meares, and Bulma are being chased through space back to Earth by Moro. The Z Fighters are gathering the Dragon Balls, looking around for them with the Dragon Ball radar. Uh, Although it's taking a while, they do have most of them. The only problem is that one of them they is deep inside their Earth's core somehow. So one of them has to go in and get it. Tien decides to go in as he has developed some new techniques that he thinks will allow him to get in with ease. So Tien goes in, but guess who crash lands and attacks before Vegeta's team arrives? The Moro Corp, and they immediately attack. Meares, seeing his chance, tries to capture and kill Moro, but the goat demon breaks out of his restraints and takes several blasts from Meares' laser pistol, and they go staff to fist, with Moro and him seemingly being equal until Meares lands a clean hit on him. But this was all a ploy, so Moro could absorb him using Meares' own energy against him by essentially using his energy as a tether to pull his energy into Moro and just quickly drain him of all he's worth. Vegeta jumps in, going to avenge his fallen comrade, with Goku shortly behind him. Alright, we have Tien. He is boxing up with some Moro goons at the bottom of the earth, with their leader, Yuzun, showing up. He just grabbed one of the Dragon Balls and is taunting Tien, whom immediately rushes Yuzun and starts beating on him, and then does the Tri-Beam, blasting Yuzun away, but it doesn't really work, as although it is powerful, Yuzun survived, and I do mean survived. I would have Yuzun be torn up, but not viciously bloody. It would be more like steam is coming off him. He jumps out in his super form enhanced and throws Tien away, and then with a single punch rips off Tien's arm, reminding him of his past losses. Tien remembers what he's fighting for, the future that he wants, and everything that he has. And he uses the power deep within himself to unlock the power that he always had, but was holding back due to the past. The past being all his assassination jobs. And he uses his strongest version of the Tri-Beam, which this time kills Yuzun. We get Piccolo and Gohan talking about the battle, and then they get rushed down by 7-3, whom is trying to steal their Dragon Balls, and they find that there is a giant space station, the ship that Moro took while getting to Earth, that houses a army of 7-3s that are still being made, pumping out more and more of these robotic copycats, with Gohan learning that these guys can copy a person's moves, and due to all the Z fighters being in one place, these things are just getting stronger and stronger more and more as the Z fighters get stronger. Now Master Roshi faces his greatest opponents yet. 3 women. The pink one with curly hair, she has more strategic based abilities. She's not a brawler like the other two, but she does get the job done with her being able to use telekinesis. The one with the spiky hair being able to uh, enhance her own striking power, and the dark elf looking one being able to uh, being a master in hand to hand combat, being able to enhance her strikes at specific key points to hit more than just once in a single hit. This combo would be deadly against Broly. I mean, against Master Roshi, but uh, Roshi would be able to still fight back, but only in his buff form. But that causes a large smoke cloud to take over, with the three of them fusing into one. This form would be called uh, Feng Shui, with her becoming much stronger and doing the work on Roshi. Uh, and also throwing him around at several points. But this causes him to use his final attack, the final Kamehameha. This move is meant to be a one-hit KO and takes in all his power, causing himself to be knocked out along with his foe. Alright, right here we have uh, a going back to Moro versus Goku and Vegeta. Moro throughout the fight has evolved and has increased his power, becoming more physically attuned to Miras's abilities, showing that with his new form. Uh, with Goku using his own new technique that he just showed off, which allows him to funnel another person's ki attack into his own body, increasing the amount of ki he has. Not absorbing it, but nullifying it. Basically, it just acts as a short booster. Now we get to Sagan versus Gohan, Piccolo, and the androids. And I do say the androids as well because they just finished up destroying a whole armada of enemies, which includes some of the some celestial dragons, like the one that freed Moro in the first place. Uh, Gohan and Piccolo, along with the androids, would overwhelm the general of Moro's army, and in response, he would use his species' unique ability to grow extra limbs and increases the amount of arms he has, knocking his foes back, but this only gives them the upper hand as they combine all their strengths into one hit, blasting him in the chest. But it only annoys him, so the androids come in and blast him even harder as they have infinite energy, increasing the amount of damage the attack did. Saganbo then reabsorbs all his arms into himself, increasing his muscle mass, trying to push them all away, but all of them combine their strengths and ki into one, holding him down. Piccolo does his giant form, hoping that this will work on crushing Sagambo, which it does. Piccolo sighs in relief and is helping the others take down the 7-3 army. Alright, we have Krillin, Majin Buu, and Videl going into where the original 7-3 is and trying to destroy the original's body and destroy the entire armada of 7-3s that are coming down to Earth. While the Z Fighters are demolishing the copycats down below. Krillin is on the job of destroying the main body, while Majin Buu and Videl put in the work, with Buu doing very well, but down below everyone's not doing too hot, as the third and final 7-3 stands tall and uses all their abilities at once, along with Piccolo's giant form, to bat them all away. Majin Buu, seeing this, jumps down and does the same thing, but in doing so loses all his fat and becomes Buff Buu. The two fight, with Majin Buu edging out 7-3. Everyone claps as Majin Buu is the victor in this fight, destroying the entire 7-3 facility using the giant 7-3 as a... Goku and Vegeta would combine into one awesome attack that would seemingly kill Moro, who then would fake his own death and punch a hole through Goku, then a hole through Piccolo, along with some more damage, and then using 7-3's body, or one of the destroyed 7-3's, he would use that body to gain all the powers of every fallen enemy and fallen comrade to Moro, gaining all the abilities he needs to surpass everyone there times 10, being able to easily defeat Spirit Vegeta, whom should be his kryptonite, and then, because of Goku's DNA inside of him, overpowers Spirit Vegeta and is able to absorb spirit energy as well. He becomes the ultimate being, and now no one in the universe can stop him from stealing the Dragon Balls and taking what is rightfully his. And now he goes on a tirade about how the Frieza Force will finally die for what they did to his family, that he'll get his old empire back. Since I can't animate for shit, I am using images along with GIFs to create a awesome fight for you guys. Hopefully it'll flow well, but here it comes. I also added in some royalty-free music. Alright, now Vegeta, Goku, and the other Z fighters stand up tall, happy, and worried for the future, as they don't know what might come next, as Moro was a huge surprise for them, along with Goku's big power-up at the end. He doesn't know what happened or what even happened during the fight. All everyone knows is that Goku now has a new form that he needs to learn how to control. Vegeta, along with Bulma, a healing Mirrors, and and Gohan take Piccolo's broken body and travel to Namek, where they plan to wish him back to full health.